What's good, YouTube? I'm going to be telling you guys about what is, in my opinion, the most underrated credit card on the market today. This is a card that is really underrated. People do not talk about this card. I never hear people talk about this credit card. Obviously, it's in the Amex family, so it doesn't have the looks of the green card. It doesn't have the allure of the platinum or the gold card. It doesn't even have the kind of starter card perception of its brother, the BCE, the Blue Crash Everyday card. But I think this card is really underrated. Now, I want to get right into this. So, one thing I noticed right off the bat was the current card member offer, at least that I'm on. Obviously, people have different offers with a credit card, but this is just on the Amex website. Just Googling it, this was the offer that came up, which is a pretty bad offer. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Getting $75 back after you spend $1,000 in purchases on your new card in the first 6 months. Getting less money than the annual fee in your first year from the intro offer is kind of crazy. Not even gonna lie to you, but I'm not talking about the intro offer. That is something else. But I want to talk about this card. One thing about this card is that it has a $95 annual fee. And I think that's kind of one of the big reasons that this card is not gets underrated. Rather, I think that's one of the big reasons is because it has $95 annual fee. And like I said, with the BCE, it has a no annual fee. And then platinum and gold, they have big annual fees, but they have these histories, perceptions. They're really bigged up. So this one is in that middle area. Even like the green card is also kind of in that middle area where it's I think it's 150, or I might be off, but it's in that, I think it's 150, 195. It's kind of in that middle area as well. And so it's kind of obviously in that place of the annual fee is too much, that it doesn't really have the benefit to match that, slash kind of the benefits aren't enough. Like you get what I'm saying. You get it. So this has a $95 annual fee, but to me, I think it's low-key worth it, especially for the average person, because of its percentages and what they're on in particular. So here's the meat and potatoes of this credit card. So looking at them, number one, 6% on groceries, up to $6K a year. But again, I'm looking at it as more of like the average American type of thing. Obviously, credit cards, your mileage may vary, is what we say in this space. So it could not be good for one person, but I'm talking about average person. That's why I call this card underrated. And 6% on groceries is going to be one of your best bets in credit cards for any card that you can find. 6% is like the highest that I know of personally. And then we got 6% again on select streaming subscriptions, US streaming subscriptions, which is obviously a lot too, but for a lesser category. 3% on transit, which is another big percentage on something a lot of people use. And then 3% on gas, which is another one of the highest I've seen for gas. Definitely not the highest, but high. And again, obviously in conjunction with the transit and the streaming services, if you're into that. And obviously the first one, the groceries, right? So the groceries, 6% on groceries. All that in conjunction makes this kind of one of your best bets for everyday people that get gas, groceries, transit. This is one of the best cards for that. And that's why I say, even though it does have a $95 annual fee, which, like, for example, for me, I already have the BCE, and I love the BCE, but if it wasn't for the $95 annual fee, this would be one of the top 5 best credit cards on the market probably, and I would have this card. Now for me, it doesn't work as well for me, especially with the annual fee, you know, that like it just doesn't work. But I think for most people, even with that annual fee, this is one of those cards that, you know, people are very scared of annual fees, but I think even with the annual fee, it makes up for it with the percentages and the cash back. So that's what I think. And then 1% back on everything else, which, you know, nothing to write home about, but, you know, standard. And then obviously it's gonna have, you know, some other ancillary stuff. $84 Disney bundle credit, $7 a month. Statement credits for Disney, so Hulu, Disney Plus, all that, you know, if you're into that. And then obviously the other standard Amex stuff. So like I said, I think this is one of the most underrated credit cards. Tell me what you guys think. I think this is really good. I think if it wasn't for the annual fee, like I said, I think it'd be one of the top 5 credit cards, period. But with the annual fee, I think it makes it more for a particular person. But I think that type of person is what most people are. So, like I said, crazy multipliers with the cash back. I think this is one of the most underrated cards. Nobody talks about this card. It literally does not get talked about at all. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video.